agree that ISB 2015 has been a Congress packed with interesting keynotes, with award sessions, podium presentations and themed sessions. I'd personally like to acknowledge and thank Professor Kainanan for his Muybridge lecture, and also Professor Aurelia Capozzo for his Wartenweiler lecture. It was truly a privilege to listen to those lectures and such excellent talks from such distinguished, long-standing supporters of ISB. I'd also like to thank, of course, our Congress organisers, Phil, Andy, and the team from the Biomedical Engineering Department at the University of Strathclyde for hosting our celebratory 25th Congress of the Society. Several years of hard work go into planning and hosting such an event, and I know because we're going to be coming up there soon, and I thank them for their sustained efforts in delivering such a fantastic Congress. I know the Congress team have had many challenges and fair share of bad luck with external organising companies, but despite those setbacks, the conference organisers have managed to produce an excellent scientific program and hosted more than 1,200 delegates over the 4 days of this meeting. I'd also like to give a special thanks to our ISB sponsors and exhibitors for supporting the conference. Those are the ones tucked away in those halls when we sort of go in there for our coffee breaks and poster sessions. I'm hopeful that you've connected with regular and new customers and that you will maintain your valued connection with the Society into the future, because they're incredibly important to running also our successful conferences. Can I thank you, all of the delegates, for your excellent presentations, participation in this year's Congress. Like other years, Congress delegates have travelled from all around the world to attend the Congress. You've come from countries and laboratories that are entrenched and highly engaged in biomechanics, and from developing countries where there is huge interest in biomechanics and very few resources. There are a great number of students that I've seen here, early career researchers, and the Congress has been especially pleasing to me to see many students and early career researchers connecting, interacting, and planning experiments with our more senior members. For those of you who are not ISB members, a bit of a plug, I hope you have seen through this meeting the value of becoming an ISB member, and I encourage you to visit our ISB website to join and benefit from the many Society's activities that we have. The Society provides members with a great range of supporting activities, and only through membership can we continue on with those. So please support the Society into the future. Last but not least, I would like to thank our outgoing past president, Ton van der Bogert, and the new past president, John Challis, the outgoing council members and the incoming new council members for their support to the Society. Ton has worked extremely hard for the Society over the last 6 years, and I know he will continue to support the Society in future activities. John, in his new role as past president, will be working with me and the new council to grow the Society, and we have a young and vibrant council to take us into the future. With that, I would like to close by my part by inviting you all to join us at the 26th Congress in the International Society of Biomechanics in Brisbane, and I'd actually like to welcome up to the stage the organising committee for the conference. If you'd all like to come up with me, please. So we have Paul Hodges from Brisbane, who's going to be taking us through a little bit of a presentation. Sue Ellen Holland, who is from our organising PCO. We have Mark Piercy from Queensland University of Technology, also on the organising committee and part of APAB, and David Lloyd from Griffith University, also been an ISB council member and also part of the committee. And you can see me in my blue shirt as well. I'm now also part of the committee as well. So Paul, if I can hand over to you a little bit to take us through what to expect in Brisbane in 2017. Sure. Oh, and Professor Matsumoto. Last but not least, also coming to the stage, also representing APAB as well.
So if I can get the slides for the presentation. Yep. So it is with great pleasure that I announce that the next conference is in Brisbane in 2017. And you'll see that just by quirk of fate, ISB is part of Brisbane, and it will remain part of our logo. Right in the centre of our city's name is the Society's name. So we take with great responsibility the role of organising the conference, and the organising committee, many of whom are with me today, are representing the 3 key universities in southeast Queensland. There is an epicentre of biomechanics research in Queensland, and each of the universities within our region are taking a very strong part in the organisation of the conference. but also in collaboration with other organisations within our region. So the Asia Pacific Biomechanics Conference will be held in conjunction with ISB, and the Australia-New Zealand Society of Biomechanics Conference will also be held within the ISB conference. So we're bringing together the societies from across the Asia Pacific region with hopes of bringing together a broad spectrum of biomechanics. Our website is already up and functioning, and I'd encourage you all to go to that website to keep track of where we're at and to register for your expression of interest. And there is already an app that's up and running that you'll be able to use to keep track of where of the progress with the conference. So please go to our website to get the information of how you might download that app to your phone so that you can keep track of where we're going.
So I think you'll see we're as prepared as we can be, and I know we have 2 years of hard work to get us to that point in 2017, but I'm quietly confident that we're going to make it, and I'd like to thank my team as well, the team, to actually get us there. So thanks, guys. I'd like now to hand over to our conference organisers for 2015, Phil and Andy, and who are going to be actually taking us through to the closing ceremony and following on to the party this evening, which we're all definitely looking forward to. So thanks again, Phil. Andy's somewhere in the background, I'm sure, there. And thanks for a great conference.
We thought, to start the event rolling, that we would try and let you summarise the Congress and the closing ceremony. Okay, and a huge thank you goes to Daniel Bassett and to Nick and William, who have been surreptitiously videoing everybody all week. And Dan, what a great job at producing a video by the end of the conference. Great stuff, thank you. So as you know, Dr. Phil Riches has been our scientific and social programme organiser, and I think you'll agree it's been great. So I'd just like to introduce Phil, who's going to say a few words about the programme.
Thank you, Phil. Hello again. We've got lots of thank yous to make. Okay, I know Andy Creswell said lots of thank yous on behalf of ISB, but as part of the organising committee, we need to say some thank yous too. I hope you'll agree with me that we've had a fair biomechanics feast over the last few days. And if you consider the SEC as a wonderful restaurant, then Phil Rowe has been an excellent restaurant manager, looking after us all. And having the idiotic idea in the first place to think that we could host ISB. And I'm equally to blame to go along with the ride and to say yes to him. But for Phil to have that first initial thought, thank you so much. It's been a blast. Where's the slide thing? So as I say, we've got some people to thank. So if we're in a restaurant and we're having a feast of biomechanics, then I'd like to think that the Muybridge Award and the Vartan-Weiler Award and Kainanan and Professor Rolio Capezzo, these have been our table centerpieces, providing much discussion from around the conference. So I'd like to thank them from the bottom of my heart for their contributions and their expertise in delivering fantastic talks. The keynote speakers. Now, if they're the centerpieces, the keynote speakers are, for me, the fine wine that we've been drinking. Some have been really full-bodied and a bit and heavy. Some have been light and fruity. But hopefully you'll agree with me that they've all been exceedingly tasty. So thank you to the keynote speakers for agreeing to our silly ideas of putting two keynotes together and past and future and going along with it and doing it with lots of enthusiasm and verve. So thank you to them. And the delegates, thank you to you. Okay? The thing about putting on a conference, you need to have a good city. I think we've got that. You need to have a good venue. I know we've got a good venue. But it's the delegates that make the dishes or sit at the table and make the dinner party. So thank you to all 1,260 of you. I know you're not all in the audience, but I'm sure they can hear me wherever they are. Thank you to you all for coming and attending. So, as you said, you come from all of these different variety of places. which is fantastic. And I know there's 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, which we still haven't put on the slide. So, with that, they're my very quick thank yous. I'd like to start, or finish, by the way I started, by saying thank you so much for coming. I'm going to miss you guys. Thank you.
All right, muckers. For those of you who were at my opening ceremony, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. I'll allow you to understand what I'm going to say. I'll only be here for a few minutes. I wish to add our local organising committee's thanks to all of the ISB 2015 sponsors and exhibitors, to Andy Creswell's, without whom we certainly would not have been able to put on the show that we have. All the exhibitors have done a wonderful job, and I hope that it has served your companies as well as you have served us. Specifically, Motec, ForceLink and Viacon, I want to give a second mention to, because they were extraordinarily supportive of me and us in wanting to run our simple little experiment, and they definitely put in an enormous amount of work to do that. For actually running the experiment for the few days that we did it, I want to thank Lindsay, Craig, Gwen, Andrea, Socrates, Tom, Yvette, Georgia, Heather, Paula and Cheryl, and everybody else who kind of pitched in whenever they had a spare moment. All of the participants who came along, we did have 64 in the end. 3 of us also did a retest reliability, so we ended up running 70 motion capture sessions in 3 days, which I'm delighted about. I'm not going to let you watch all of this video because I forgot to speed it up before I put it on the show, but we did run what I know to be a very well-controlled protocol with full ethical approval and great response from all of the participants. So we have done, I think, an excellent job over the few days and have collected some data. We've not had a chance to do any really comprehensive analysis yet, but we've got some data there. We're working on it. We're going to be looking at it in due course and sharing the database with the community, looking to publish in the Journal Biomechanics special issues. So keep your eyes open for the results of that, because by my quick thinking, I'm not sure about this, but I think we've got about 7,500 walking strides recorded. So hopefully that will all be available to you very soon. I know we didn't account for all the things that Professor Chalice mentioned in his President's lecture there. I did want to add that my idea for the new acronym for soft tissue whatever, if I'm allowed another wee word for Ouija, would be soft tissue shugle. Shuggle's one of my favourite Ouija words. Anyway, that's all from me. Thank you all very much. So, Philip, back over to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you everybody. Obviously we've got a few people to thank, but we're going to try and do it very quickly. I'd like to thank my own university. They gave us support in bidding for this. They've donated our time over 4 years free, and I can't say enough thank you to them, but also to our volunteers. We had over 40 volunteers from the department here, all the way from our postdoc research fellows down to our undergraduates. I hope they all got something out of it. I hope they learned a bit of biomechanics. I hope they realised that maybe we do teach them something useful. But most of all, I just hope they had a good time. I'd like to really thank Daniel Bassett from Bassett Biomechanics. I don't know how many of you have come across it, but Daniel runs Biomch-V, which is supported by ISB. And it's a video version of Biomch-L. It's a way of communicating by doing videos. And a number of us has now done videos, in a way giving a different kind of presentation where we're able to state our view of the future or something that is meaning for us rather than a conference paper. And it's a great medium. All the keynotes and so on from this conference are going to be put on it. And I understand the same is going to be true for the Sports Biomechanics Conference. So it'll become over the years a great resource, and we would encourage people to contact Daniel. You all had a card in your bag originally. But contact Daniel and arrange to do your own webinar and tutorial. I'd also like to thank Kelsey and Enrica, if they're still here. But they've done a great job, the two of them, on organising student and postdoctoral sessions during the week and various other events. Best of all, I have to say, I'd rather not. No, how would I put it? I wouldn't go into space with two other people who were so good as the two people I did go into space with. I can't thank them enough. They've kept me sane. They've had brilliant ideas. They've worked their bloody socks off. So thank you, Phil, and thank you, Andy. Various people have said it during the week that they couldn't do what they do without their wives. And I feel a bit the same. So Christine, if you're in the room, I would like to also thank my son Finley, who's been helping me all week and keeping me sane. Matthew, if you're here, the party's nearly ready. And Phoebe, what can I say? Thank you for coming. And see you at the party. And if not, safe home and see you in Brisbane.